closing a client is one thing, but surviving this world is another thing. So, and what we need here is a sustainable freelance business.
We will debunk common VA myths that people believe in that are not entirely right. Hey everyone, it's Mimi Vic, your host for this podcast series, The Angel VA Show. In this episode, I am so excited to interview Jam Blauta. He is the founder of Barangay VA Community, and he has been a remote worker for over 6 years now. He started during the pandemic and is now currently a VA sourcer where he finds, pre-qualifies, and hires VAs in behalf of his client. He is a well-respected content creator in the VA industry. I know him well. He works, he travels, and he helps aspiring VAs get clients for free. With no further ado, let's go meet him. Hi, Jam. Nice to finally meet you. My name is Victoria, known as Mimi Vic for short on my social media account. So I'm the representative of Outsourcing Angels since I'm part of the marketing team. And I am the host of this podcast, The Angel VA Show. So the Angel VA Show is specifically for VAs so that we teach them, educate them on how to be a better applicant, how to land clients, be better in their interviews, and other
Mhm.
stuff like that. So thank you so much for
Right.
accepting our invitation and being our guest for this second episode. So to
Yeah.
start, Jam, why don't you start by briefly introducing yourself?
Thank you so much for inviting me. First of all, nice to finally meet you. I'm Jam. I am the founder of Barangay V Community, and I help aspiring Filipino virtual assistants land their first client online through my free VA course, challenges, webinars, all those stuff. So, if you guys are looking for that, hit me up. So, yeah, I actually do VA sourcing. So, that's what I've been doing for years now, wherein I help my clients source qualified Filipino VAs for their client matching in the future through community building and social media marketing. So that's what I do.
Ah, that's so nice. I think it suits you so well, Jam. So, can you tell us when and how did you start freelancing? How long have you been freelancing?
Yeah, so freelancing in general,
Mm,
not just digital.
yeah.
I've been doing this since 2018. Background is my background, so I'm an HRIM major in hospitality graduate in Benil. So yung mga Benil dyan, hello, hello. Ayan, so when I graduated, I worked in restaurants and hotels, specifically in the F&B, and then I got promoted as a training officer, and then 2018 I decided to do restaurant training consulting as a training manager consultant. So that's what I did since 2018 as a freelancer. So that was my first love. Okay, as a freelancer. And then 2020 pandemic happened. Bills are never ending regardless of the pandemic. And that's when I told myself, "Hey, we need to get a job online." I was like scared the first time because I heard it's a lot of scams. Ganun, panahon na yun. It's not a thing yet. So we don't even call them VAs yet before eh. So we call them like remote workers, online jobs. These are the terms before. And back then, walang mga resources, like free resources on how to go about it, how to price yourself, where to get clients. It was so hard to find that. I literally went through either blogs, like the write-up blogs, you step one, step two, step three, or very long YouTube videos, which is time consuming. And yeah, 2020, I finally started with an agency with two clients right away as a social media manager, and then niched down, and now I'm a VA sourcer for clients right now at this time. So how many years now? 6 years? 6 years.
That's so awesome. Actually, ako nag-start rin ako like 2021, really after the pandemic as well. nung nag-uuso na siya. But you're right, there's no really a lot of resources back then. So it's
Yeah.
really like figure out yourself. And people are prone to
Yeah.
scams. Yeah. So
Sobra. As in like, wala kang ano, guide. So like, you have to be resourceful. I think that's our strength. Yung mga
yes.
nag-start before 2020, we're really resourceful. We don't say how po, ganon, interested. We don't say those stuff there. We're very
Yes.
cutesy, very demure. Ganon. Char. Diba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Jam. So now that you are working remotely as a VA sourcer, what are the best things with your job working from home?
Number one is flexibility when it comes to time. Well, in my case, because all my clients are flexible. Number two is it's also quality time. You know, you have a balanced life. So I can travel and work at the same time without thinking of like, because I love traveling. I literally travel a lot. And I bring my work with me and everywhere I go, mapa domestic man yan or international. And this is the life I've been dreaming of for years already. So I'm happy to be able to live it and plus earn from it. So masaya, masaya siya. It's life changing.
Yes, and I'm so happy for you. And I follow you on Instagram, and yes, you're so
Thank you.
always traveling. I see your travel photos, always on the go, and I'm happy for you.
Really,
You're living the
thank you.
lifestyle that you're dreaming of before. Yeah.
Yeah. Laban, laban, Japan.
Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your story, Jam. And in this episode, what we want to do is debunk some VA myths that most
Ay, go for it. Gusto ko yan.
yes. So, the first question is, Jam, is it true that working as a VA is really easy as everyone thinks? So, are VAs just lazy? And does working from home really make us dumb? That's the first question. What do you
Ano
think?
yan, ang controversial yan. Um, yeah. Okay. So working from home or remotely versus working on site when it comes to stress level and the difficulty, pretty much it's the same. Okay. But iba lang ang setting. Iba lang ang setting. It's difficult in so many ways, lalo na if you're new here. Number one, time zones. If you have multiple clients with different time zones, that's one thing you need to adjust on. Number two, work culture. Like you are working with other nationalities. So they have their own work culture, their beliefs, their ways. So you need to adjust to that. Number three, you're working alone. You're working alone, but there are ways to work with other people like co-working sessions through Zoom or through Google Meet, through live streaming. So you guys can hindi nakakabaliw mag-isa. You guys can like work together. You just have to find the right community. So pretty much it's not as easy as what they think na copy and paste data entry because we are entrepreneurs here. Always remember that we are entrepreneurs here. We're not employees. We're here because we are the answer to their problems. And for us to be able to be the answer to the problems of our clients, we really need to do the same process that we do on site, 'di ba? But this time remotely. So for me, it's the same. And no, it doesn't make us dumber every day. Actually, I know a lot of people who are very successful with this and really grew their own business through this and earning 10 times like versus when they were still in the corporate. Not for anything. Again, guys, we cannot just compare corporate versus remote jobs because some people are really flourishing sa corporate and some people are really flourishing sa face sa remote work. So there shouldn't be any comparison, number one. Number two is the reason why some people loves doing remote job is because some of them are, let's face it, may mga disabled tayong friends, 'di ba, na hindi natatanggap like for face to face for on-site what do you call this? On-site jobs or opportunities. And we all have our reasons why. It's like single moms, they want to stay with their kids. Diba? A lot of reasons why we chose the virtual world, the remote world. So there shouldn't be any comparison. And at the same time, when it comes to success, we all have our definition of success kasi. Like, it's not all about me growing, like reaching a specific level or rank of position in the company. Sometimes it's not about how much I earn. It's not about the 6 or 7 figure milestone. Yung iba kasi, like, kami, like, we just want to be able to bring food to the table. We just want to be able to travel and work at the same time, living a very balanced life. Some of us, makapag-provide lang sa family kasi breadwinner, masaya na kami. That's already success to us. Some of us were living in a more comfortable life versus when we were in the corporate. So, iba-ibang definition of success. So, yung makes you dumber and stuff like that doesn't really make sense. Kaya nga, when they posted that, when I saw that video, triggered ako, yes, pero talagang I did not post about it. Like, it's such a nonsense noise. It's something na we don't also need to dwell on kasi, 'di ba? We're just giving them attention. 'Di ba? Thirst bait, ano sa parang ano nagbe-bait lang sila, 'di ba? Para mapansin sila. So, I don't want to give them that attention. So, when I posted, I only posted once pero not really tagging them. I did not mention them. Really like a lesson in general, a lesson post, educational post lang about it. So yeah. It doesn't make us dumber because why are we successful here in our own ways if it makes us dumber?
Yes, yes, I love it. I love your perspective, Jam. Thank you for that. And speaking of earning six digits, right? What can you say about VAs wanting to enter the industry, be a VA just to earn six digits monthly?
That can be tiring. If your number one, if your goal to be here is to earn 6 digits on a monthly basis, very tiring yan because it affects your ways, your decisions. Like, for example, you're applying to a specific job and your goal is 6 digits because that's what people normalized in social media. It will be frustrating for you to get a job because as an entry level VA, it's hard for you to get that 6 figure income. Number two, no, um it's going to be very very draining for you because tendency is you will accept multiple clients just to reach that specific amount, and then what, burnout, and then what, hospital, tagos sa pader. So really, number one is to really define what success is for you. Number two, yung sinasabi lang know your worth. Know your worth as a service provider. Yun dapat ang ibig sabihin ng know your worth. If you're an entry level service provider or VA, then go for entry level rates or entry level opportunities. Diba? A lot of you guys are mad whenever you apply on specific agencies or openings na parang you are an entry level VA and you're applying to agencies or clients who are basically looking for experienced VAs, and they have the best benefits in the world, and they have the best benefits right now, and then when you apply ikaw pagalit kung hindi ka natanggap kasi malamang kasi they're looking for experience and you're an entry level VA. So you have to really know your worth in that sense, no? Um, but I'm not saying it's not possible. It is possible. A lot of like VAs right now are earning that much, but they earned it, they achieved it along the way because everyone, we all started somewhere. We didn't start with that kind of rate. We're very cutesy. We're very mindful. Sure. So we also embraced low rates when we just started, just for us to get in the space and get that exposure and get that growth and really sharpen our skills. And that's what led us to what we're earning right now, what we're enjoying right now. So we have to start somewhere. 'Di ba? I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed, because in your agency too, like I noticed a lot of our applicants right now are very not very demure when it comes to their preferences, and then they would say para pag Filipino talaga ang ang team that manages a specific agency, it's so toxic, very high caliber. They don't know why. They don't even know what's behind the scenes. They don't even know na most of that request ni client, 'di ba? Um it's they're very choosy and they're very reactive, na sometimes wala na sa lugar. So, if you wanna be in this industry and you want to last, the thing that you need to focus on is not how to close a six-figure business, but how to survive this world. Because closing a client is one thing, but surviving this world is another thing. So, and what we need here is a sustainable freelance business, 'di ba? Not a one-time high-ticket client na expectation versus reality, 'di ba? Nag-fake it till you make it ka, and then all of a sudden hindi ka na umabot ng second month and you'll never get another one. That's really hard. So dito talaga, it's all about sustaining your business, long-term relationships, and how to survive. That is one thing that I want to empower all our content creators out there na freelance, is not really to focus on the monetary thing. Well, it's a thing. We all like money, girl, but also let's be realistic. Let's talk about the real life, real talk life. No? Number two, and teach them how to survive this world is the most important thing.
I really agree with you, Jam, kasi it's not really impossible, but it's a very unrealistic expectation when you're just starting out, because yung mga kapwa nating VAs dyan that earn six digits per month, they're already backed with experience and they have their own processes. And it's really
Yeah.
sad that it's being hyped up. And I think it's not even by VAs themselves, but self-proclaimed coaches, and that's really really sad. Uh,
Correct. Correct.
and on to the next question, Jam. Do you really just need a mobile phone? Kasi may mga videos tayong nakikita, oh, you just need a mobile phone to work from home, ganyan, ganyan. What is the minimum tech setup or requirement for you to be able to start as a VA? Do you just really need a phone?
Okay, let's start with mindsetting. Okay. As a digital professional, as a virtual assistant, as a freelancer, you are offering yourself to a specific client na you're here to solve their problem, 'di ba? And paano if I tell you, uy, let me solve your problem. Pay me $800 per month, but can you lend me a laptop? 'Di ba? Parang, am I gonna hire you?
Yeah.
Like, how do you solve a specific problem if you do not have the right tools to solve that specific problem, 'di ba? That's the thing. So, the basic tools that you must have as a virtual assistant are the following. Number one, a computer or a laptop. Cell phones, no. 'Di ba? Though may mga smart tablets already, no. Either computer or a laptop. Okay, wag kayong manghinayang, because this girl, your laptop na binili mo ng like for example, 200 or $300 will give you thousands of dollars in the future. So ma-ROI mo yan, girl. 'Di ba? It's a money generating tool. Number two, of course, you need to have like Wi-Fi. 'Di ba? Wi-Fi, reliable internet connection. Number three, you need to have a webcam. 'Di ba? Ang dami nga nagtatanong, I don't know if it's just us, na parang, uy, yung interview mo ba, dapat naka-on cam? Hindi ba pwedeng off cam lang? Ay, ang daming ganon. So, girl, 'di ba? You need to have a webcam, all right? What else? Yung headphones with mic, noise canceling mic, if applicable, kasi hindi naman lahat requires that. Like, I never use that. Sa buong freelance journey ko, I never use that. So, and of course, the softwares that you need for you to be able to function as a business. So those are the basic things that you need.
Yes. Thank you, Jam. Like what you said earlier, VAs were not employees, we're business owners. So we need to provide the resources, our own resources, to cater to the needs of the clients. Yes.
Right.
Thank you. So another question here is there is a common misconception that Filipino VAs or Filipinos in general are actually bad at communication or bad at English compared to Indian or South African. But let's disregard the comparison to other
Yeah.
like races. So are Filipino VAs actually hard to communicate with?
I'd say I was able to work in America for 1 year for my internship before. And I believe that besides the locals, Filipinos are the best when it comes to English conversation. We are not the most fluent, but when it comes to conversational English, we are the best. Okay. I've been to other countries like um I don't want to mention, but it's so hard for them to have a conversation. May language barrier, me. So, no, Filipinos are really good when it comes to English. I don't know where it's that coming from, pero Filipinos are really good. Me, if you're gonna ask me like, Jam, to be a virtual assistant, dapat ba magaling ako sa English? No, I am not fluent. I am not the best person when it comes to English. I only developed this along the way. But one thing's for sure, um, I have good conversational English, but I am not fluent. I am not American like accent because my job doesn't need that. So it depends if you're client facing, diba? If you have your handy calls, diba? Then you need that American like accent. If you are handling chat support, then you have to be good with write English writing, diba? It depends. It depends. But if you're in the back end, social media, and stuff, and you only use your English to really talk to your client during meetings, you don't need to have that excellent English there. Okay, conversational English.
Yes. Thank you, Jam. Actually, I agree with you, and we're the same. I'm good with conversational English. I feel like with when it comes to diction or stuff like that, call center agents are better than me. I feel,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
but
us.
I think what's important is the client understands me and I understand the client, so, and
Yeah.
we get things done together. So
Yeah.
another question here, Jam. When should you consider applying in an agency versus in getting direct clients?
Well, it's like this. Whatever works for you. Because what's the difference, ah? So when it comes to agencies, let's start with agencies. With agencies, you have the safety net, wherein if you lose a client, they can get another client for you, or if you lose a client and they didn't pay for it, they can pay the specific amount for you. Number two, the service, right? The service that you need, such as them processing your papers, them finding clients for you, them trying to sell you to clients. Ayan, that's the other services that you get. Benefits, 'di ba? Some agencies provides benefits, 'di ba? Pero since you have all those services from them, you're getting all those services from them, you get a specific amount lang, 'di ba, per month. Per cut off. Like it's not as high as the ones you get from direct. Well, after Vice that, sometimes yung mga direct nga mas mababa pa kaysa sa agency based on experience. But if you want to do it alone and get the 100% of the payment that the client will pay, no, then go for direct, provided you do everything alone. You do your marketing, you do your admin, your HR, all of those stuff on your own. So who can do that? Only the people who are number one, solid when it comes to their services already, their business identity, people who knows how to do lead generation already, people who knows how to really handle clients already, sell themselves. These are people who are pretty much seasoned already. Okay. So if you're that person and you think you do not need that safety net, that service, then go for direct clients. If not, wala ka pang idea and you just want to learn about this world, okay, then go for agencies. I started with an agency, all right, and then eventually, since independent contractor naman kami, I got clients outside, direct clients outside. So it's a process. It's a process. Up to you. It depends on your season. Eh. Like now, I have both. But the reason why I have an agency is because I get HMO, I get 13-month pay, I get all this stuff. So we need that, 'di ba? Even my mom has the same HMO coverage as mine. So iba-iba eh. It depends on your season. Pero whatever floats your boat, wala namang like comparison, wala namang like competition na parang pag direct ka mas magaling ka. Wala namang ganun dapat. It depends on your season and whatever works for you.
Thank you, Jam, for that. Um, Another question here, since we're like nearing the end of the meeting. What do you think about the thought that it's too late to start to be a VA this 2024 or 2025, since we're already halfway through 20?
Always remember na remote work setting is the next big thing. We are just starting. Always remember na, or maybe they're coming from their experience that they feel like it's saturated already. Honey, no. Okay, it's not just America. There's Canada, there's Australia, there's Europe. Ang dami. And always remember, no, na not all opportunities are in the job boards. Okay? It's not there. Like I get clients because number one, my LinkedIn is optimized. Like, kahit wala akong gawin, they just, message me all of a sudden. Ako na lang yung parang, hindi ko na kaya me. Parang i-waitlist ko na lang siya. Number two, networking events. Hindi yung MLM like networking, like you attend networking events to get to know other entrepreneurs. You join communities, you get to know the people in the community where your future clients are. That's how you get to know them. Hop on a call with them, get to know their services, get to know their needs, and then introduce your services. These are things that I normally do. That's why I like joining networking events. I like investing on paid communities kasi andun yung quality people that I need. So, really, not all opportunities are in the job boards. Okay. So, no, it's not too late. It's actually the best time to start because it's the next big thing. As you can see, yung ibang mga companies also here in the Philippines, nag-hybrid na sila. Yung iba, nag-venture na sila sa remote work because mas mura nga naman kung walang office, di ba? Like, the rent and all. So, no, it's not too late. It's the start of something new and big and better. Can you imagine, di ba, that opportunity for us to be able to work from home, di ba? The impact of that. No, it's not too late. It's the best time. No, it's the best time.
Yes, I agree with you. Maybe, guys, you're just looking at the wrong places. So it's time to step up
Yeah,
your game. Mm-mm.
yeah.
So we have a question here, Jam, from at Sinshine Online 3, one of our followers. What's the hardest thing you had to learn when becoming a VA or remote worker?
The hardest part of this world na na-experience ko is how to survive.
How to say?
Because clients come and go.
Mm-mm.
Clients come and go. Actually, honestly, hindi ko nga magets eh. Um, ano bang worth ng mga contracts natin or agreement natin with clients? Kasi, mahabol ba natin sila? Number two, kahit may kontrata from this month to this month, pag tinopak sila, alis na lang sila anytime
It's
eh.
true.
'Di ba?
Yes.
So, um, that's my first question. Ba't ba ako nagbibigay ng agreement? But I still give agreements though. Pero
Yeah.
like, you have to be ready for that.
Mm,
And it's hard to survive.
mm,
Again, as I mentioned earlier, closing a six-figure client or a specific client is one thing, but surviving this world is another thing that we need to really embrace. And I remember early last year, 2023, that happened to me. Both of my premium clients
mm.
nawala, sabay umalis. Mga 3 days lang ang pagitan ni, no? Um, as in, hindi siya planado mi. no? And then ang natira na lang sa akin is the agency client nung una kong agency na
Mm.
not so high paying
Mm.
and nawindang ang mundo ko.
Mm.
So, I think as a freelancer, yun yung pinakamasakit at
Yes.
pinakamahirap na stage in life, no? So,
Mm.
how do you prepare yourself for that season, 'di ba? Is one thing that I learned.
Mm.
And sabi ko sa sarili ko na this can never happen to me again. And that's one thing that I studied, and that's one thing na ginawa ko now to
Mm.
make sure na I will survive
Mm.
throughout the years,
Mm.
the following years. So yun.
Yeah.
It's the hard lesson talaga based on
Mm.
experience.
Mm. To wrap up our podcast interview, Jam, what would be your best piece of advice if you could only give one to our aspiring VAs viewers? What would that be?
Start with what you know. Yun
Mm.
lang. Start with what you know because you guys know how social media is. Pag may bagong niche or specialization and they want to hype that niche, and they will even say na parang high paying job, things like that, and ma-attract ka, you want to do that, but it's not your expertise, 'di ba? Anong unang gagawin mo? Kukuha ka ng course, 'di ba? Aaralin mo gaano katagal, the exposure. Mag-start ka na naman from the bottom, 'di ba? And ma-frustrate ka kasi you don't like the job, you just wanna earn, 'di ba? And you can't even perform the job because this is not your cup of tea, 'di ba? So versus starting with what you know, regardless of how much you can get, but um, but because you have the experience and exposure already, based on your previous experience, kahit ano pa, kahit hobby pa yan, kahit employment from your corporate job, 'di ba? Since you have the proof, the documentation na I've been doing this for the longest time. Plus, once you talk about it sa client mo, it's easier for you to express yourself with confidence. Kasi you know what you're saying. You've been doing it for the longest. It's easier for you to get in. 'Di ba? So, guys, never, like, I don't mind, but instead of asking, ano ba yung pinakamagandang pasukan na may mataas na na nakita? Ask yourself, parang what's the best thing to ask is, this is my current expertise. How do I start? 'Di ba? Start with what you know para it's easier for you to get in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jam. Thank you for sharing all the information that you have acquired over the years, and thank you for your time.
Yes, maraming salamat, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this. Thank you for having me, and I enjoyed this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jam. Jam was so adorable with so many great insights. I hope you learned as much as I did. So, what topic would you like the podcast to talk about next? Drop it in the comments. And if you found our video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. See you in our next episode.